Okay, we're going to get started. You just need a soft ball and a block or a pillow or something for your head. We're going to start in our back and just do a little test that we're going to do at the beginning, and then we'll do the same test at the end, and we'll just see how that changes with time. So I want you to put your hands on your hips here, and we're just going to do a pelvic tilt, okay? And I want you to do it nice and relaxed. We're not trying to squeeze or grip any muscles. We're just thinking about the pelvis here, rocking back, okay? So these hip bones are going to move away from the thighs here, and then we're going to rock the pelvis the other way, and we're going to let the hip bones move towards the thighs. Okay, so we're tilting away and towards. Another way you can think about it is if you have your sacrum on the floor, that sacrum is going to rock more towards the top part of the sacrum on the floor, into the middle part, and then towards the tailbone, and then transition back to middle to top. Okay, and I want you to just play around with how smooth that feels, how equal it feels side to side, and just kind of get a baseline there. Okay. We'll do two more. Okay, and then we're going to roll onto the side, and we're going to do side pelvic rocking. Okay, so you can grab your blocker pillow, okay, and put your hand on your top hip. So I have this pelvis stacked over my bottom pelvis, top over bottom, and my knees are bent 90 degrees. I'm just going to go ahead and let that top pelvis walk forward compared to my bottom pelvis. Then I'm going to walk the top one back on top of the other one and then rock it behind the bottom pelvis, okay? And I'm just transitioning right on top over, in front, back to on top, and then behind. And just see how that feels, okay? You can go slow, you can speed it up. You're just going to see how that goes. I'm going to move my mic around probably just to not have it flap all over the place. There we go. Okay, so just see how that feels on that side. Stay heavy on the hip that's on the ground. Okay, then once you flip over, you can just flip like this, or you can flip onto the other side. Okay, do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we're going to speed up over here a little bit and just rock it forward, middle, back, right over to the middle again, forward, transition back, just sliding. It's like your pelvis is walking. It's going ahead of the other one and then behind the other one, ahead and behind, okay? So we're just kind of seeing how that feels because we're going to try to clean this movement up a little bit in the pelvis with our use of the ball today. So you're going to grab your squishy ball. I have mine slightly deflated, okay? And we're going to go ahead and put it right underneath your sacrum here, okay? Let me get my mic back on. Put it over your sacrum, and you're going to go ahead and just do those pelvic tilts there. Over the ball, forward, middle, and back, okay? Rock it and just see if we can stay nice and heavy over the ball. The feet are planted, and we're just staying heavy as you transition on that sacrum from the top to the middle to the tailbone, nice and slowly. Okay, let that belly go. Let's give it a good inhale when that belly is nice and stretched out, and then we'll exhale as we gradually, slowly, one piece at a time, roll it the other way. Okay, and try that again. We're going to inhale. Just let everything roll towards the tailbone, and then we're going to exhale from the tailbone, piece by piece by piece, into the middle. Try not to skip any segments. Take it nice and easy. Staying heavy on the ball. Okay, we're going to inhale. Forward. And then exhale. Back. Okay. And then we're going to flip over. Okay. And we're going to bring the ball just kind of over the pubic bone. Okay. So right in front. Go over the pubic bone. And then slide yourself back just a pinch. Okay. So that ball kind of gets right on top of like the kind of the soft tissue that's right above the pubic bone. And you're just going to start to kind of get some pressure down on the ball and just slowly kind of slide yourself side to side. You can kind of use your arms. You can also use your legs to kind of push you heavy over the ball, side to side. So you're going to start to feel that ball kind of collapsing into your belly a little bit. Okay, and it might feel a little uncomfortable. Might feel good for some of you, but it's just kind of getting used to the pressure there. And you're just gliding all the way from one hip bone through the middle into the other. Okay? And then you're going to go up, so maybe back yourself back so you're right over your belly button. Do the same thing. Side to side. Okay? Get heavy. Let your body get heavy. Get your legs get heavy. Let your belly get heavy. Let yourself just sink into the ball. If you want to get real heavy with it, you can come down onto your forearms here and just rest your head on your hands and let your body really sink over this ball and really just kind of stay heavy and glide side to side. Make sure you're not holding your breath. Make sure you're taking good breaths in and out. Okay. From there, we'll go up just underneath the rib cage there. Okay, this can be kind of a sore spot for a lot of people, especially right in the middle. Okay, it's a place where a lot of us kind of hold some stress. If that feels tender, you can back off on the pressure a little bit and just take a breath into it. Like you're breathing into the ball with your belly, and then you're going to exhale and let it all the way out. And you're going to feel your body just sort of collapse around that spot a little bit. And then you're going to inhale into the spot again. Fill your belly into the ball like you're trying to put a dent into the ball. And then exhale all the way out. Let yourself just collapse around that ball. Okay. You can do, let's actually roll side to side on this upper part of the belly. Okay. So I just kind of broke the abs up into 3 parts vertically. So we did a lower ab, we did a middle ab, and now we're doing an upper ab, kind of like right around where the rib cage starts. And that's where your diaphragm sits. So you're getting a nice kind of sensory stimulation to your diaphragm, which is good. Okay, that same technique we just used with the breathing, you can find other spots in your belly. So I do this all the time. So let's go back to maybe between your belly button and your pubic bone, but then move the ball over to the side of that spot. Okay, so you're on the left or right side. You're going to go ahead and just rest and get heavy over the ball. And this might be tender for a lot of us because that's kind of where your psoas is right here. And this is a nice psoas release for you. So you're going to go ahead and breathe into the ball. Again, you're thinking of using that belly. You're kind of breathing and you're feeling your belly expand into the ball like you're trying to put a dent into the ball. And then you're exhaling, letting it all out and letting your body just collapse around the ball like the ball is trying to make a dent into you. Let it out. Really let that air out. Let yourself get really heavy. Once you're heavy, take another breath in. Into the ball. Pause. Maybe no breath for a second, and then let it all the way out. Okay, let's move it to the other side. I'm just going to show you 2 spots today, but you can pause this video and you can go all around your belly and all, those 3 vertical layers, left to right, center. You can just kind of play around with this, but let's just do the other side. We'll do a psoas again. Take a breath in. And then exhale, let it all the way out. So again, we're sort of between belly button and pubic bone on the opposite side now. And really let your body sink over your ball. Like you're trying to let the ball just come into your belly area. And what this is doing is it's kind of the ball is kind of taking the place of all of your guts inside your belly. And it's just allowing all that stuff to move around. So it's really good for digestion, constipation, any kind of GI issues. This is excellent for. Let all the air out. And then when you're ready, take a breath into the ball again. trying to expand your belly into the ball like you're trying to put a dent in the ball. And then exhale, soften it around. Okay, it's good for all that stuff. It's good for just getting a deeper, more diaphragmatic breath. You can almost hear it in my voice. I'm getting very calm. It's good for calming the nervous system. So this is a great one to just play around with. But I want to show you more. So I'm going to say pause the video if you want to play around with more spots. But we're moving on. Okay, so now we're going to go on to your side body. Okay, so we're going to get the ball kind of right underneath your armpit. And this is actually where you're going to want to, oh, come on. You're going to want to bring your block or your pillow with you, okay? Get something for your head, then you don't have to worry about it, okay? So from here, we're going to place the ball on the side of your rib cage, underneath your armpit, and you can choose. Like sometimes I like to get kind of right, I don't know, a couple inches below the armpit there, okay? We're just going to get heavy over the ball for a minute. Take a breath in, and then just kind of exhale and let your body get heavy this way around the ball. Okay. Sometimes I'll put an arm up here just to kind of drive that pressure down into the ball. Take another breath in. And again, you can think of inhaling into the ball there and then exhaling, letting your body just sink, like you're thinking of your ribs just kind of softening. The ball is kind of softening your ribs up and in towards your body. And the ball's not like, your body's not like pushing the ball away anymore. You're just kind of letting yourself soften, okay? From there, we're going to go ahead and rock and roll, okay? I don't know where to put this, but hopefully you can still hear me. Okay, so here we're going to roll. We're going to roll back and forth. And you need to get the ball in a place where when you're rolling, it doesn't feel like it's going to come shooting out from underneath you. So you got to kind of play around a little bit and just make sure that's working for you. And then your head is staying heavy on your pillow or your block. And we're just going to roll. So you're going to feel yourself roll more on top of the ball when you're in the center. And then the ball is going to kind of move more onto the back part of your side, onto the side part of your side, and then onto the front part of your side. Side part of your side body, back part of your side body, back again to the side, and then the front side. You can add an arm here. Okay, we can rotate and rotate. Okay, we can inhale and we can exhale. Okay, we can just keep the arm where it is if you want to keep it simple and controlled. Sometimes I like to just kind of keep it on my other rib here and just roll with it. Okay, so I'm not rushing with my top shoulder here to drive it. I'm thinking about the bottom side here. Get nice and heavy on that ball and rolling side to side. Okay, it's getting a nice, good massage out of those ribs. Okay, we're going to move the ball down. Okay, to the lower ribs now. Okay, we're going to do the same thing. So we were at upper ribs, now we're at lower ribs. Same dilly. Okay, we are going to roll side to side. Okay. Exhale forward. Inhale back. Sometimes I'll switch the breathing up, okay? So that I get a good inhale on each side. So I'll inhale at the extreme. So I'm going to reach. Inhale, exhale, roll the other way. Hold it here. Take another inhale. I'll exhale, roll, reach. Hold the reach. Inhale. One more. Exhale. Inhale. And reach. Exhale as you move. Keep reaching as you inhale. Awesome. Okay. We're going to move the ball down again. Again, spend more time on any of these if they feel good. Press pause. Okay. Now we're going down between the ribs and the pelvis. So the soft spot of your belly on the side. Okay. Grab your pillow again. Get nice and heavy on your head. All right. We're going to let some air out. Just get heavy here. Okay. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to roll. Okay. Roll back, roll forward. Okay. So you're feeling the pressure on the ball move from the side of your belly to the back kind of corner of your kind of where your side meets your back. Okay. Side body, where your side meets your front. Okay. And we're transitioning. And if you are a short-waisted person like me, this one can usually feel pretty congested, short, and like it needs some release work. So I quite like this one. So you can roll. Okay. Do the same breathing. You can inhale here, exhale here. Or if you liked the breathing at the extremes, or you inhale here, exhale as you roll. Inhale, play around with the breathing. Okay. Down here, it doesn't matter as much because we're not over the rib cage. Okay. But I just want you to continuously breathe there. In this position, in addition to rolling the waist side to side, we're going to tilt the pelvis. Okay. So we're going to like kind of posterior tilt, anterior tilt. Okay. So I'm tipping, which way am I going? Backwards. And then I'm going to go forwards. I'm staying heavy on my hip that's on the ground, heavy in my head, heavy on my side. I'm not trying to lift off the ground. I'm just tipping in space. And I'm trying to get both sides to do that together. Okay. So I'm rolling and rolling. I wonder if I can show you. I don't know if that will help, but here. Yeah. I'm tucking under and the other way. Yeah, that doesn't help much. You just get to see my butt. And no, I'm not going to edit this. All right. So there we are. So we're going to tilt and tilt. You guys know what to do. Okay. Just pelvic tilting there. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and do a pelvic roll like we did at the beginning of the video today, where we're taking that top pelvis, we're rocking it forward ahead of the bottom one, over the bottom one, behind the bottom one. All right. And then rock it. Okay. So this is different from the first thing I had you do with the ball here. The first thing I had you do is I kind of had you just turning at the waist. Now we're talking about pelvis. Okay. So pelvis is rocking. The walking one that we did at the beginning where it's walking ahead and then it's walking back. And you're going to feel that pressure move from the front of your belly to the side of your belly to the back corner where your side belly meets your back. Okay. And if you have tenderness in that back side corner like I do, a lot of people do, okay, that's kind of where your QL comes in. Okay. And your fascia back there gets all kind of gummed up. You can slide that top knee back, kind of get heavy. Just stay here now. Get heavy here. Okay, you might have to adjust your pillow and get heavy. And we're going to reach that hand up towards the ceiling. And we're going to pull that arm down. And then we're going to reach back up. I'm going to change my angle. And you might have to also, I'm just trying to get an optimal kind of like pressure down on that like back corner. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get the ball to come kind of right in this area, but on my side. So I'm not here. I'm in that corner and my angle is in that spot. Okay. So y'all just stay where you are. All right. And we're reaching up and pulling down. Reach up and down. Let's exhale down. Let's inhale up. Let's exhale down. Let's inhale up. Let's hold here, take an exhale. Let's switch up the breathing. Okay, let's inhale down and exhale up. A lot of people ask me, when am I supposed to breathe and when? I used to care. Inhale down, exhale up. And now I just decided, instead of somebody telling me what to do, why don't I play around with it? Okay. And why don't I try both? And why don't I do what works best for me? So that's what I'm going to tell you guys to do is to play around with it always and say, I think this feels better. Okay. I think I'm getting more out of this if I do it this way. Okay. That feels awesome. We're going to flip. We're going to do the other side. Okay. So you're going to start with that ball up on that higher rib cage. Okay. Get your head rested. We're going to get heavy over that ball. We're going to take a breath in. And we're going to let it all the way out. You're just going to get heavier and heavier and heavier just as a prep. Okay. Then we're going to roll. Remember these rolling ones? Inhale at the end. Exhale. Roll to the front corner of the ribs. Stay heavy. Inhale. Back. Maybe exhale as you come around. Maybe add that reach. Inhale here. Exhale around. So I'm heavy in my head. I'm staying heavy in my shoulder. I'm staying heavy in my hips and over the ball. Okay. There can be a tendency to want to kind of lift off of this a little bit. And I want you to stay heavier because the heavier you are, the more contact you're going to have, more sensory input you're going to have. And that's the whole point. Okay. Roll. Also, if I stay heavy on this bottom shoulder, I can pivot around it as I reach and get a lot more rotation, okay, versus if I start to lift it up. Sometimes lifting things up is our way of wiggling out of movement we don't have that we actually need. All right, so you can add the arm if you want to. Okay, that's going to give you a little more chest opening here. Nice inhale and exhale. Okay, this one's a little tougher on me. You're going to find that one side always feels different than the other, but it can change depending on what you're doing. Okay. Good. Pause if you want to play around with that more. We're going to move down to the lower ribs. Okay. So that's like just before your ribs end, kind of at this, just below your bra line area. Okay. And we're going to rotate there. Okay. The reason this is so important is that so many of us ignore our rib cage, okay? Especially people with hypermobility. You think people with hypermobility are just kind of flexible everywhere. They're mostly flexible kind of in their extremities, okay? Their arms, their shoulders, their hips, their knees, their elbows, their wrists, their fingers, all that. The central parts of their body, their spine, their pelvis, their rib cages tend to be stiffer. Okay, so this is where we really want to put some focus. But it's good for everybody, okay? And we're rotating. So just playing around with that. As we get better with rotating and getting our rib cage and our pelvis moving, it really helps the shoulders, the hips, everything that attaches the spine, everything that attaches to these parts. It improves the way those parts feel as well. So it's a huge missing link for a lot of people. Okay, we're moving the ball down to the soft part of the belly, okay, between the ribs and the pelvis. We're going to roll the body around the ball to start. Okay, so remember we started with the body roll over the ball, and then we started moving into the pelvis here. Okay, rolling back. And you'll notice I tend to go fairly slow as I transition through here. Okay, I just caught myself going fast and I wasn't getting as much out of it. So I like to go real slow. You'll probably find you might feel the same when you go slower and you stay heavy. Kind of get a lot more out of it. Okay, so just keep that in mind. This is not a race. If you go faster, it does not mean better. It actually kind of takes away from the experience a little bit. Get heavy. Add that reach if you want, if it helps you get a little bit more. Okay, reaches are really great to just help create that length that we're looking for Get a little bit more out of our movements. Okay, from here, hand on the hips, we're going to do our pelvic tilts. Tilt and tilt. Okay, so we're trying to keep it pretty symmetrical. Okay, both top and bottom pelvis are moving together, same time, same rate. My left side feels a heck of a lot better than my right. So just always take notes of that, because it's just good mapping for you to kind of figure out on your own body sort of what feels what. And it might not always be the same. It might change, day to day, week to week, decade to decade. So, but just taking notes is always good. Self-awareness is always good. Okay. Then we're going to rock and roll. Okay. So we're going to roll forward and back with the pelvis. So this is no longer the trunk moving. It is going to move as a result of the pelvis moving, but we're not driving the show from the trunk. We are driving it from the pelvis. Okay. This bottom knee is staying heavy. So I'm not like turning my whole body. Bottom knee stays heavy. Top pelvis is moving around a stationary bottom pelvis, and then it's moving back. Okay. Remember, you're staying heavy, head, shoulder, over the ball, over the hips, over the lower leg. Everything's heavy that's touching the ground or wanting to touch the ground. Okay. Then we add this. Oh, yeah. Find that corner pocket where it's kind of like your side meets your back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Okay, if you're one of these people that tends to want to like crunch here, stay nice and open through your chest, nice and tall and long from your head to your hips the whole time. Okay. And you can move, right? Like if you're like, I'm not getting this, maybe move forward a little bit on your ball. And then try it again. Okay, so you can play around. If you're like, I'm not picking up what she's putting down, just change it. Okay. Ugh, sometimes when you do this, you're like, this is so needed. Awesome. All right, here we go. Now we're taking the ball out. We're almost done. We're going back to our initial tests. Okay, so you're on your back here. Okay, feet are planted, they're grounded. We are going to go ahead and do our pelvic tilting. Remember, we rolled into the tailbone, center of the sacrum, top of the sacrum. You could also think about these hip bones in the front, getting closer to your thighs, and then rolling away from your thighs. And just work that out and just see, how does that feel side to side? For me, it feels a lot smoother, a lot more free, a lot less kind of clunky, okay? And then you can turn onto your side and do your rolling here. Whenever I do this, it feels a lot easier for me to find those extremes without feeling like I am going to maybe like have to lift up my bottom leg or something like that, make some sort of compensation. Okay, go ahead and try the other side. Okay, and again, it's like that top pelvis. What to do with this? There we go. Is rolling forward and back. Okay, so we're done. Okay, I hope that y'all enjoyed that. I did. I feel amazingly better. Okay, and as I'm sitting here now, my hips feel better. I'm able to sit more grounded through my sit bones. Okay, whereas before I felt like I was a little bit here. Okay, I'm so much more settled now. I'm going to switch and just see. Maybe you can do this test yourself. I should have maybe had you feel it at the beginning, but you kind of might know your own baseline here. Just feels a lot more grounded through the sit bones. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I really appreciate it.